Alright, good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. Today I'm going to be featuring a ship that isn't too commonly seen ever, actually. It's very rarely seen indeed. It's the Gibraltar. It's a Tier 10 Research Bureau cruiser, of course, available for research points. This is what it is. I think I'm going to make this a thought process video, so I'm going to play two games. I'm going to talk about how I'm playing the ship and everything, and then basically tell you guys if it's good or not. But I can pretty much tell you right now it's not really a great pick. I think there are better picks for Research Bureau, such as Ohio or Colbert or Vampire and Druid. Those are all really good. I mean, if you like battleships, obviously, then there's Slava as well. Over Ohio, not over Ohio, but and Ohio. I think Ohio is better than Slava though. But anyway, so the Gibraltar, here it is. So let's check out the armor layout first. We have 25mm nose armor. Not good, obviously. We have a 30mm side armor, 25mm aft armor, and then we have a 40mm deck, which is pretty nice. This is, of course, similar to the Goliath armor in terms of the actual characteristics, but you have to keep in mind that Goliath is smaller. So even though it does have 25, Goliath is smaller. Goliath also has a super heal, so you can actually tank quite a fair amount. But yeah, there's the Gibraltar Citadel. It's huge, very easy to hit. This is Goliath's instead, as you can see. It's actually on the inside, which is nice. So I believe Goliath does have spaced armor. Gibraltar doesn't, because the Citadel sits on the outside. That's pretty much the Gibraltar armor. In terms of my commander build, I am running... Oh, actually, so this, I mean, to be honest, like... maybe I can change the captain actually here. 1 second. Alright, so I updated my commander here. So I'm gonna be running this one instead. So I have Grease the Gears, Incoming Fire Alert, Consumables Enhancements, Adrenaline Rush, Heavy AP Shells, Superintendent, Concealment Expert, and Top Grade Gunner. In terms of my equipment, I'm running Main Battery Mod 3, which is Reload Mod, Concealment System Mod 1, Steering Gears Mod 1, because there's no prop mod available, Aiming System Mod 1, Hydra Search Mod 1, and Main Armaments Mod 1. For those people, because there's people, actually, this was a recommendation from you guys, I should just talk about the stats before we go into the game, because normally I talk about them during the game, and it just confuses a bit people. So I'm just going to show the statistics import here. If you want to skip to the game, you can go ahead and skip to the game straight away. I'll keep the video chaptered, so you can just go to game 1. But yeah, let's take a look at the characteristics. So we have 59,400 hit points on the Gibraltar, with a 13% torpedo hit protection. We have also an 11.9 second reload with 16.9 kilometer gun range. Keep in mind, Gibraltar has AP only, and it is improved AP. It's similar to Minotaur AP, but with a big caliber gun. Of course, 11-second reload, so quicker reload than Goliath, but keep in mind you have no HE. The arcs are actually pretty bad, like the shell travel time is pretty bad, but it's definitely, I guess, usable. You have your airstrike here, which is actually 4.9k damage. Nicely that it's not like ship base, it's ASW, so it's nice that you can launch it. It's 8 kilometer range, so it's not too bad. The damage is 4.9k, which is nice, similar to Conqueror. AA defense, nothing really I know to talk about, to be honest. It's not something I'm going to spec into. You can't switch to DFA. That's something you have to keep in mind with the Gibraltar. On Goliath, you can switch to DFA. On Gibraltar, you can't. Maneuverability, it goes 33.6 knots. That is with the speed flag, keep in mind. So it is a very slow cruiser. If you remove the speed flag, you only go 32 knots. So it's a very slow cruiser at tier 10. And for concealment characteristics, we have 11.5 detection, which is actually not good, to be honest. And I'll tell you why in the game. And we also have, it doesn't show it here. Oh, it does. 9.5 kilometer smoke shooting, which is also pretty bad because we are a smoke cruiser with almost 10 kilometers of smoke firing penalty. But yes, last thing I wanted to show before we go into the game is the camouflage for the Gibraltar. This is what it looks like. Sadly, there's a cloud in the way, but this is what it looks like. And the alternate looks like this, which I think looks pretty good also, to be honest. I actually really like this one. It reminds me of the Italian color scheme in a way. It does look like the Italian color scheme. But I'm gonna be using this one. For those of you wondering what a steel camo would look like on Gibraltar, here it is, a big steel brick. But yeah, let's go into our first game. Alright, so here we are on Islands of Ice. It is an arms race game, and it's filled with super ships, a super CV, and a submarine. Is my camera not? Yeah, it's too high. There we go. Let's fix it a bit. There we go. So yeah, so we do have super ships we have to keep careful of, especially the battleships. We're gonna get overmatched giga hard. But we can try sit and smoke and hope for the best. Now, Gibraltar is a very hard ship to play. Even for experienced players. I would say it's not just a hard ship to play. I just don't think it's a good ship in general. A lot of people I've talked to, other good players obviously, and even just other CCs in general, just don't like the ship. It's just not a good ship, I think, at least. The main issue is it doesn't have HE, right? So, let's say you're fighting an angled battleship, he angles to you well, you're going to not really do too much damage. Even if you have improved AP characteristics, your damage output is significantly reduced, especially when compared to a ship like... I'm just gonna compare it to Goliath. Maybe it's not a fair comparison, but I feel like it's a fair comparison just because it's another British tier 10 heavy cruiser with the same exact caliber guns. Goliath, even though Goliath has worse AP, by the way, even though Goliath has worse AP, it can load HE and do quite a lot of damage with the HE. As we know, Goliath HE does hit really incredibly hard, so that's really nice. But yeah, that's the main issue, I would say, with Gibraltar. Another issue with Gibraltar is the concealment. Now, I mentioned the concealment being a slight disadvantage, quite a disadvantage, before the game started, and I was gonna explain now. Well, I will explain now. So our issue is our concealment's 11.5, which for a cruiser of this gun caliber isn't too bad. I know Goliath also has better concealment, but Goliath is a smaller ship, so I guess you could say that. But reality is this concealment, it's not actually our surface detection that matters too much. It's our smoke firing penalty detection, which is 9.5. Now, 9.5 you would think isn't too bad for a cruiser with big guns. And I would agree, but it has its own smoke, so you're meant to be using it. And the thing is, when it's 9.5, pretty much you get spotted by anything that's, I mean, in 9.5, which isn't too hard to get into 9.5 of this thing because it has no radar. And you also have the issue of when you are spotted in smoke, you are gonna get hurt really hard, so you have to be really careful with it. Now we're gonna get struck first by the carrier, but that's to be expected. That's pretty much every game, without fault. I think we're gonna try farm the Kremlin if possible. We are going need to get into like range and use a smoke here, but as you can see, you see this Holland? He's pretty far away from me, but he's very close to my actual smoke firing penalty. Now, one of the things I have to mention about the Gibraltar is its ability to punish destroyers really well. Sorry, I was really scared that I was super greedy there and the Kremlin was gonna shoot me. So Gibraltar can punish destroyers really well if they're broadside. If it's a Holland like this, I can't really punish it too much unless he goes more broadside. No. So yeah, you can punish destroyers really well. I wouldn't recommend, because I see this a lot in randoms, by the way. I wouldn't recommend just running in and dying instantly. That isn't really worth it, to be honest. Just to kill a destroyer, you're not meant to be 1-for-1ing, because I see a lot of people trying to 1-for-1 in their Gibraltars because they want to, you know, I don't know, kill the destroyer or something because they read online that it has really good AP against destroyers. You're not meant to just suicide into destroyers, okay? You have to be careful. You have to use the smoke, like for example in this situation. Farm your targets away, push them away, like a battleship, for example, that can actually punish you. And then when a destroyer gets lit, and you actually have a good shot on it, and it's not a waste of a salvo, then you can output some good damage on it, sure. But suiciding to try to get into Hydra range of a DD or something, just to get one, like, big salvo, and then you lose half your HP, isn't worth it. So, it's better to just play safe, be patient, which is one of the more important things in this game, being patient. Just take your time with everything. It's not really just Gibraltar, honestly. It's a lot of ships where you have to be patient in. Sadly, we lost 2 ships here on our team, but it's okay. We'll try kill the Kremlin, so we'll trade 2 for 2, if possible. But yeah, this is kind of like the boring part of Gibraltar, right? The farming. It's not a damage farming ship. Obviously, we have a reload buff right now because of Arms Race. Hopefully, in our second game, we won't have Arms Race. I don't really like featuring Arms Race too much in especially this series of video, but reality is it's a game mode in the game now, so people have to learn how to play into it, play against ships who have Arms Race buffs, and mostly I don't really have too much time every day to just spend half a day basically recording, because let's say I keep getting Arms Races after each other, it'll take me like an hour or two just to record one like 30-minute video, which would take me a long time. So I mean, I think it's okay to just feature an Arms Race game, because reality is as well, people are gonna have to deal with it. If you're gonna play Gibraltar, you are going to play into Arms Race. Plus, I mean, it doesn't really change the playstyle much, to be honest. Sure, you get a reload buff, sure the enemy gets a damage buff, but in reality, you're still trying to play your ship the same. I don't think you're trying to suicide or trying to make giga plays, even though you have like a few percent heal like going off, you know, like at the time, like 0.03%, which is like 50 HP per tick. So it doesn't really change the playstyle of the ship too much, so I don't really mind featuring this Arms Race game in general. So here we're going to start opening up on the Satsuma again. I'm considering taking a smoke screen here because I don't like sitting in the open in a Gibraltar, but since we're not getting shot at, I don't really mind. Remember, we do have British acceleration, which makes not open watering easy, but it makes it easier than if we didn't have it. I'm gonna take a smoke because he's rotating his guns towards me and I'm scared. Yes, I am scared because Gibraltar, it gets Giga Smash, especially since they have double damage buff. So literally 2 Citadels will probably just one-shot me off the map, especially if he's running heavy AP, which I don't know if he is or not. So we're gonna be careful here. Gibraltar is huge. That's something you need to know. I know that came out of nowhere, but Gibraltar is a huge ship. You have to keep in mind. So when yeah, it's kind of a waste of a smoke, but whatever. We'll make it work. We'll try to make it work. We'll see. Now the question is, should I go back into my spawn or not? I don't think so, because there's a submarine there, and Gibraltar versus submarine is not an engagement I'm willing to take right now. The cap is appearing in 1 minute, so we're gonna need to get our battleships into mid. Yo, Colbert. We'll try to output some damage on him. Got a Citadel. Remember, we overmatch Colbert everywhere. That's something you have to keep in mind. You do overmatch Colbert everywhere with the Gibraltar and Goliath. But with Gibraltar, it's obviously better because it has improved AP, unlike Goliath. Hydra Ring, just in case there's torps coming. There was a Holland down there. Submarine over there. Colbert is back. Seems like his engine is broken. It is broken. For those of you wondering why I set secondary targets to things, it's kind of like a force of habit. I just like clicking, I guess. Sorry, apologies. I'll try to stop as much as possible for the rest of the video. But no promises, that's for sure. No promises. For those of you wondering, does it actually buff your main guns if you click secondaries on people? No. Does it do anything? No. I just like clicking. Because I like clicking, I guess. I'm gonna take a torp here, and they have double damage, so this torp is gonna hurt me a lot. And it did 21,000 to me. It's basically one Shima torp, but it came from a gearing.
Problem solved, sir.
The thing with Gibraltar is, it looks easy, right? You're shooting every 11 seconds, let's say. Let's say 11 seconds, right? You're shooting AP only. There's no brain logic behind the ammunition choice. It's pretty much clicker, right? But remember, you're a cruiser. So you will get smashed by overmatch if you aren't careful. And secondaries from Schlieffen will actually hurt us a lot, so we also have to hide from that. because it will hurt us a lot. Alright, I'm hoping the submarine actually comes to the surface. Ours, because, well, I need him to contest the cap with me, because the cap will get smaller for me, so I won't be able to do much with him. So hopefully the submarine comes back to the surface. He can't. I think he can right now, but it would be a bit risky, I guess. I can't shoot anymore, because if I shoot, I get spotted. I'm pretty sure. If the submarine spots the gearing for me, I can help him deal with it, I guess. I'll get my guns pre-pointed because the submarine's coming to the surface at a rapid pace.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
Okay, we'll get one shot off on this guy. Then we'll try to dodge these torps whilst dodging the Patrie salvo. We're gonna have to leave our smoke here. There's the gearing. I think, instead of, I was gonna think of turning out here, I'm gonna go for the rock actually. Please put this guy for me, please. I don't think he can because of Schlieffen Hydro. Schlieffen! They might be hydroing my submarine right now, actually. Yeah, they are. Pretty sure. I think my submarine is spotted. United States bombs. Okay, didn't hurt too much. I mean, it did like 8k, I guess. Submarine. I'll put some ASWs on him. I don't know if we'll land any, but we'll try. We're gonna click F5 and hope for the best. Not a good spot for me at all, to be honest with you. We didn't get any ASW hits, which is quite sad, actually. Rockets are coming. Those do hurt. They're super rockets. Oh no. Rockets plus torps, probably I die, to be honest. Yeah. Yep. Alright, GG, I guess. Alright, so for the first game, we ended up getting 176,000 damage, 198 shell hits, 2 citadels, we got Confederate, and 9 aircraft shot down. For team score, we ended up getting top of the team, 1.6k base XP. We did try, of course. We did hit some DDs as well. I think the Yamagiri at the end, we hit him quite hard. If we check detailed report, we hit him for, I don't know actually, 9 pens for 14k. I think I hit him when I got the Confederate there. I didn't look at the actual damage in that salvo, but I think I got him for around like 10k, I think at least, even though it was really far away. Otherwise, we did 37k to the Colbert, which is really nice, 44k to the Kremlin, and some chip damage on each ship. We took 96k damage ourselves, obviously, because it was arms race. Credits and XP, 578,000 credits, 5k XP, 600 free XP, and 7.2k commander XP. But yeah, that's game 1. I think we should go for game 2. Alright, here we are for game 2 in the Gibraltar 3 battleship game. Honestly, not having battleships in a normal cruiser with HE, I wouldn't mind that much. Sorry, wait, what? What was I saying? Oh, sorry. If there's like a lot of battleships in a cruiser which I have HE in, I actually quite prefer it. The fact that I don't have HE, I actually do not mind that much that there are not a lot of battleships, especially since I'm a ship that gets smashed by battleships. The thing is, you want high cruiser games and high destroyer games if possible in your Gibraltar. Obviously, that means you're gonna farm less damage than, I don't know, a Goliath. But that's the thing with this ship. It's not a damage farmer, this ship, the Gibraltar. It's pretty much just kind of like a destroyer punisher, I guess, when they get spotted. And you can actually punish cruisers quite fairly. And of course, if a battleship is caught broadside, you can output some damage on him also. But I wouldn't say Gibraltar is your DPM monster, your damage farmer type of ship. I mean, pretty much. But yeah, so here I'm gonna be going northward. northward towards the A cap. We're gonna try to go north of the A cap if possible. There are 3 battleships. Even though there are only 3 battleships, we still have to be careful against them. We shouldn't be running it down into the cap. It's unlikely we need to run it down into a cap. It's better to just play a bit passive at first. Even though we lost last game, I mean, us running at the Holland will not win us that game because they still had like 6 ships extra alive over the Holland. I don't think the Holland was that useful. The fact is, don't suicide your ship for 1 destroyer kill. Even if we lost last game, it was out of our control. I'm gonna be honest. It was out of our control. The thing with Gibraltar is it's not a carry ship. It's not gonna carry your games too hard. And I'm not trying to be mean to the Gibraltar. It's just not a carry ship. I mean, it's huge, big, and dumb, right? Not dumb, but like it's big, guys. It's a big ship. It gets hit easily. It has pretty much no utility. Like in terms of actually spotting capability. You have Hydro, sure, but no radar, obviously. I wouldn't expect this thing to have radar with AP that punishes this hard. Oh, if they spot that Yamagiri, we can actually hit it. We missed the Smolensk. Oh, that Yamagiri is so free. He's behind the rock now. It's okay. We'll keep walking upward. Slowly. Honestly, this match, I don't want to be like confusing you guys, but I think we could have actually gone straight into the cap. The only issue would be this Annapolis radar that's coming up north. But otherwise, I mean, there's 3 DDs here, man. If we get spotting from our Shima, for example, if we're inside the cap, we could actually really smash. The issue is obviously there's a Shikishima repub. I would be crossfired if I'm in this situation. I'm looking at the mouse on my minimap, by the way, if anyone's wondering. Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be the worst. I mean, it would be pretty bad if we get spotted inside the cap, which we would, because even if we're opening up on the gearing, we're in smoke shooting. We could be where the Montana is. Right? We could be there. I think that would be a decent position. Minotaur, that's something we really want to fight in the Gibraltar, actually. I don't know if we're gonna be able to clap it out here. We will try. We'll try. No promises, though. Triple Citadel, 6 pens. That was a pretty decent shot, actually. Not a bad shot at all, Mr. MalteseKnight. Let's keep going. I'm just gonna run it at this Minotaur. I don't think you can stop me, to be honest. And even if the Annapolis is there, I just smoke up from the Annapolis, to be honest. Actually, the Minotaur just left, so... Maybe going straight north for it is pretty dumb. Maybe we intercept him from the cap. Now, as we know, the cap is contested by an enemy destroyer. How do I know this? Well, it's because there is no one contesting the cap. I mean, there is, but our Shimas are contesting, but we're not gaining the cap, which means the gearing or the Yamagiri, one of them, probably the gearing, is in the cap, right? Salem radar when, I ask. Okay. Or Hydro. We ask him nicely if possible. Well, we didn't say please, but we're not gonna be mean to him. We're gonna try and ask when it is. So whenever it is, we can kill the gearing because he will get spotted. There he is. I think we can literally walk around the corner and one-shot him. Okay, maybe not. Oh, I think the gearing's running at our Salem full speed. Oh, our Salem's dead, actually. No way. But how would I predict that, you know? Like, I came down here to kill a gearing. Like, I could have sat up there and protected my Salem. But how would I expect the gearing to run at the Salem ever, you know? I think the gearing's actually dead here. So is this Minotaur, though. Oh, the gearing's not dead. It's okay. We'll try and make it work. There's a free Shikishima to farm here, but I really want to see if we can get this gearing. Remember, he did use both his sets on the Salem. Okay, this is where the Gibraltar really shines. We should one-shot this gearing. Dead. Now we're gonna go over to the Shikishima. This should be free farm. This is a full Shikishima HP. We're gonna be dark the entire time farming him. Our arcs are really bad, so this should be really good for us in this situation. Because as long as... I mean, we're gonna take forever to slow down. But when we slow down and reverse, we're gonna output some good damage on this Shikishima. Hopefully before he gets torped. It seems like he's gonna get power torped here by Yamagiri and Balao. My goal is to at least get 120k. I know 120k seems really bad, guys. But for Gibraltar, it's actually not a bad damage, to be honest. I think the goal would be 130k overall. But in a game like this, especially since half their team is dead already, our goal is to try to get that 120. We have 3 kills, which isn't too bad actually for ourselves. This is where the Gibraltar shines, when you've got broadsides, you know. But it's not every game you're gonna have this. And the thing is, even though we got like really good destroyer kills here, oh, he lost half his HP. I think we need to start going south as well actually whilst farming him, because he's going to die to these Yamagiri torps 100%. So we need to try get into range of that Republic right as the Shikishima dies, so we can keep farming. That would be the goal, obviously. No promises. I'm not saying that's how it's gonna work, but we're gonna try and make it work if possible. Oh, actually, he's dodging everything because he's in the border. He's even dodging my main gun shells, which is pretty good. The border moment. Can't really blame him. He's in a bad situation. He can't really... His teammates all died. I mean, what can he do? Alright, we're gonna go for the Republic now. Republic is actually a really good farmable target for Gibraltar as well. Even though it is a battleship. And it can hurt us a lot. As you just saw, he just citadeled us. We can output relatively pretty good damage because he's covered in 32mm armor. And he's big. Like, Republic is a huge, huge ship. It's gigantic. So we're gonna try open water here, which is hard, obviously. As you know, the gun angles, something I didn't mention earlier, are really bad on the Gibraltar. The bow angles and the kite angles are even worse than the front angles. Like, they're really bad. So that's why the smoke is really useful for you, even though the stealth and the smoke isn't too good. But in these games, it's actually not too bad as long as you're not getting power spotted by the DDs or the submarine. In this situation, I would really appreciate having the smoke right now, but of course we use it for the Shiki, which wasn't a bad usage, to be honest. Obviously, we could delay this push and be less greedy, but I really want to get some damage here because I feel like we can actually output some relatively decent damage this game. Probably not as much as last game, but last game was an arms race game. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You're turning in and out all the time, you know? Just turning in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And then we're gonna take a smoke. We're actually gonna ASW the submarine. We got Devstruck. Unfortunate is what it is. Gibraltar, guys. It's okay, though. Got one ASW hit. But that's it. I'll show you the score. Alright, so for our second game in Gibraltar, we ended up doing 134,000 damage, 131 shell hits, 3 kills, and 5 citadels. Not too bad. Obviously, we got Devstruck, but I'm actually really happy I did. And I'll tell you why shortly, but we got one achievement, First Blood. I'm happy I did because it shows how squishy the Gibraltar is if you don't play it exactly on par. So I'm going to actually compliment the Repub for one-shotting me. I mean, very impressive, good on him. Obviously, it's not that hard, but I still feel the need to compliment him because I feel like it helped show the weakness of the Gibraltar, which is if you're caught out in the open, especially when you're smoking up and you're slowing down and everything, and you're getting into the smoke, you are easily Devstruck, so do be careful with that. We got 3 kills and 2.1k base XP, which is really nice. Detailed report, we did 36k to the Minotaur, 6k to the Gearing, 2k to the Smolensk, 50k to the Shiki, and 34k to the Repub, and then some chip damage on the rest. As you can see, only AP damage and ASW, and we took 69,000 damage before getting Shell Devstruck. We also only get shot at by the Repub this game, nothing else shot us, which is pretty interesting. Credits and XP, 511,000 credits, 9k XP, 1,000 free XP, and 11,000 Commander XP. In terms of my Commander build, I have Grease the Gears, Incoming Fire Alert, Consumables Enhancements, Adrenaline Rush, Heavy AP Shells, Superintendent, Concealment Expert, and Top Grade Gunner. In terms of my equipment, I have Main Battery Mod 3, Concealment System Mod 1, Steering Gears Mod 1, Aiming System Mod 1, Hydro Search Mod 1, and main armaments mod 1. And that's pretty much the Gibraltar, guys. I wanted to cover it in a thought process video because I feel like you guys are, well, wanting more of these style of videos. Apparently this is your most favorite or just favorite series in general from my channel, so I will try to cover more, which basically, in summary, thought process or how I plays, guys. I cover these. The whole point of them is to cover tier 10 ships for you guys. Let me show you the statistics, by the way, for Gibraltar before I forget. I haven't played it much, to be honest with you, but I mean, it's just not very fun for me to play. I just chose to cover Gibraltar today because it's a ship not really many people see or cover, and I wanted to cover it. So we have 17 games in it, 71% win rate, 123k average. As I said, the average damage isn't too high because it's not really a damage farmer. I think I can improve this average damage. Pretty much both of these games today were higher average. If I get the average from today, I believe I have it listed here, 155k average today over 2 games. Obviously, I can pull it up a bit more. I just don't play the ship much because, well, it's not too exciting for me. But like I said, I wanted to cover it because, well, it is a ship in the game and tier 10. And obviously, I'm gonna try cover every tier 10 in this series if possible. So for those of you wondering our series or playlists, what I have on my channel, I have a few distinct ones, I would say. The ones you're really interested, I would say, are How I Play, which is the tier 10 ship reviews, but just like basically explaining what I do and how I play the ships. Reviews, which are just new ships, I cover them in a review. Tech trials, which are tech tree ships, I cover them one game and I review the ship. Even if they're old ships, I want to cover them in today's meta. And fresh look, which are premium ships, in today's meta, just reviews, just like tech trials. So yeah, so if you're wondering if you're interested in any of those playlists, obviously you can go on my channel, click home, and you can, if you click home on my channel, you can scroll down and you'll see them listed. The first one you'll see is uploads, that's most recent uploads. Then you'll see How I Play, then reviews, then tech trials, then fresh look, then wow summaries, which are some really interesting videos. Not really much I can cover anymore from those because I covered, I think, as best as I could from those so far. Highlights, which are straight uploads from Twitch, but they're very good games normally I feature there. World of Warships LOL, which is our Twitch clip compilation series. That's pretty much what you're gonna find on our homepage, which is nice. In terms of one more thing is the price of the Gibraltar, because that's something probably some of you are interested in, and how do you obtain it. First of all, to unlock the Research Bureau, I believe you do need 5 tier 10s. After you grind 5 tier 10s, and I believe they do have to be Tech 3 tier 10s, you will unlock the Research Bureau, and Gibraltar is available here for 59,000 research points. Personally, I do not recommend you get it. I don't think it's one of those ships which I would pretty much play ever, as I showed you. It's not exciting at all. It's honestly not that good, to be honest. But if you are interested in Gibraltar, I hope, and you already own it and you want to improve in it, I hope this video somewhat helped you a bit, or if not, at least just explained how I play the Gibraltar. Even if you're not interested in Gibraltar, I hope maybe it summarized what the Gibraltar is like, maybe even a mini review almost of Gibraltar. But that's pretty much the video, guys. I'm pretty sure I mentioned everything, but yeah, I don't recommend you buy Gibraltar, I'm sorry. I would recommend you go for other things, unless you really enjoyed the gameplay you saw today. I don't think I played too bad in it, but yeah. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Big fan.